Hey guys, if you drive and use your eyes, you're going to want to listen to this. Hi, Chatty Tom here, and I'm talking about driving and visual standards in the UK. So please check your standards in your own country if you're listening to this somewhere else. So what is the standard, I hear you ask? Well, in the UK, the DVLA requests you to be able to see a number plate at 20 meters on a clear day on a clear number plate. They also request that you're able to see or have a visual acuity of 612, which is a standard of letters that we use to grade your vision, which an optician can tell you whether you meet those standards or not. So get the eyes tested. You should also have an adequate field of vision, which again, if you go to opticians, they can test to make sure you have and confirm that you meet the standards properly. Please remember that if you don't meet the standard, your insurance is void and it is illegal. So you could get in trouble quite heavily if you are caught not wearing glasses or contact lenses properly. And we do also know on clinical records that we've advised you to use your glasses, and we can report you without your consent if you feel like you're a danger to yourself or others. So please make sure. There was one patient I do remember. She came in and thought that she just needed glasses to make her vision better for driving. Turns out that she wasn't legal for driving, and even with glasses I could not make her legal, and that's because she had cataracts in both eyes. She couldn't believe it. Obviously I advised her not to drive until she'd had surgery, but yeah, you just got to be careful with driving standards. Just get them checked. Although in the UK it's not a legal requirement to have a spare pair in the car, I always advise my patients, if they need glasses or contact lenses to drive, to keep a clear spare pair in the car. Not a sunglass pair, because you obviously can't use those at night time, but having a clear spare pair in any vehicles that you drive is a very useful thing to have just in case. Just bear in mind, those of you that have just one eye, you are still fine as long as you meet the requirements that I've stated before. You are still okay. Just bear in mind also that if you have an eye condition, you may need to report that to DVLA. The list of conditions are on the DVLA government website, so check those out and see whether you need to report them. They'll often just ask you to go for a further kind of eye exam somewhere just to make sure you meet the standards, and you might have to do that every few years. Some of the most common ones are glaucoma, macular degeneration, and diabetic retinopathy. You don't need to report or tell them if you're colorblind or have a color deficiency, or if you've had refractive laser surgery. Now, there's no legal requirement for you to have a regular eye exam as a Group 1 or normal driver, but I recommend an eye test every 2 years for everybody. Group 2 drivers, which are our HGV and bus drivers, they're required to have a regular eye exam every 5 years after 45 and once a year after 65. Just bear in mind, Group 2 drivers, that your visual standards are different and you are legally required to have a spare pair in your vehicle at all times. And just to finish off, just a few little extra bits that you might want to consider, which I'll cover now. Now, one of those considerations may be sunglasses. Especially if the sun is quite low, it can affect your ability to drive, and also if it's rained or it's wet and it's quite sunny, you can get quite a lot of glare. So maybe ask your optician about polarized sunglasses. And if you find that at night time especially, or in poor weather, you get quite a lot of glare, you might want to consider driving lenses. And again, your optician will be able to recommend lenses that may help you with that, which come in most prescriptions. Also bear in mind now, they have lenses that change with the light that can work somewhat behind a window screen in a car, but you still might find your full normal sunglasses are a little bit better. But again, ask your optician, they'll be able to recommend. Right guys, I think that's all for driving and visual standards. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, subscribe and share to anybody who drives and uses their eyes. Catch you next time.